Hello, everybody. It's Zach here from RealEstateLicenseWizard.com. Today, we are talking about dual agency. As always, we will talk about the definition, how it relates to real estate, and what to know for the real estate exam. So, have you ever wondered what it would be like to represent a buyer and a seller in the same transaction? Well, dual agency is just that. Dual agency is when one real estate agent represents both the buyer and the seller in a transaction. While it may seem ideal from an agent's perspective, it can lead to some significant risks, which is why it is illegal in 8 different states. In most states, though, dual agency is legal, but state laws have measures in place to protect both parties that use it. So let's define dual agency. Dual agency occurs when one real estate agent represents both the buyer and the seller in a transaction. A dual agent cannot disclose confidential information to either party and must be neutral toward both parties. In most states where dual agency is legal, written consent is almost always required. Now, the general term agency refers to the relationship an agent has with a buyer or a seller, or in our case, both parties. If you're not familiar with the term agency, I suggest watching that video too. I'll go ahead and link that down below so you can watch it if you haven't already. It's also worth noting in some states, dual agency refers to two agents working for the same company, each representing a buyer and a seller in the same transaction, sometimes referred to as a designated agency. So, what are the advantages and disadvantages of dual agency? Well, there are both pros and cons to dual agency for all parties. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about both. For starters, the first advantage is making home buying or selling a faster process. Dual agency streamlines the house buying and selling process. It's simple math. Think about it. It's much easier to coordinate a transaction with 3 people rather than 4. That's 25% less hassle in scheduling meetings, times, closing, and more. Dual agency can save tons of time. The second advantage is commission and fees. Now, commission is probably the most significant advantage of dual agency. Not only do agents get the whole buyer and seller fee, but most agents acting as a dual agent cut the price for both parties, meaning dual agency can be great for everyone, financially speaking. Now, on to the disadvantages. The first disadvantage is neutrality. It can be tough for agents to remain neutral while acting as a dual agent. Think about it. Sellers want to land at a high price, while buyers want to land at the lowest one possible. Remember, the higher the sales price, the more commission an agent earns, which creates an apparent conflict of interest. The second disadvantage is communication. While the process may be faster, as I mentioned earlier, specific advice and communication has to be limited. For example, a seller can't ask an agent for listing advice because the agent can't take sides in that matter. This can create confusion for all parties. So, is dual agency a good idea? Well, if you look elsewhere, some articles suggest dual agency is really bad and others say dual agency is good. So, which one is it? Well, I think it's fair to say dual agency is okay under certain circumstances. While it can represent a significant risk for all parties, overall it can save time and money. So, what do you need to know for the real estate exam? Well, for the exam, you need to find out if dual agency is legal in your state or not. Dual agency laws vary from state to state, so it's important to read and understand the specific laws for your state. Some states do not specifically define their stance on dual agency, while others do, so keep that in mind. If you want to find out whether or not dual agency is legal in your state, we actually wrote a full slate, state by state guide on our website, which I will link down below. But yeah, that's pretty much it for dual agency. This video, as well as our agency video that I mentioned earlier, is part of our Answering Real Estate Exam series, where we go over specific vocab and topics for the real estate exam. Please check out the rest of the videos so you are as prepared as possible for your real estate exam. If you do have any questions or comments, please leave them down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more real estate exam related stuff. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Zachary Smiggle. As always, make today magical.